welcome to the show this morning. Well, I've been wandering around the fields over here and gathering up what I can find to eat. Mostly I was looking at fruit this morning. I haven't gone after vegetables at the moment, but it kind of brought to mind how it is about food around here. This is the tropics, but just because it's the tropics does not mean that everything creates food from plants year-round here. That's not true. Almost everything here is seasonal. Now, a few things aren't very seasonal. Bananas and papayas, for instance, are really mostly controlled by temperature. If it's warmer, they produce faster. If it's cooler, they produce slower. But I haven't noticed that they have any connection to seasonality or photoperiod. I harvest them year-round. And so this morning I went after some of these beautiful apple bananas. Yummy looking apple banana. Then after that, I went after some of my favorite papayas, the Solo. Solo papayas, one of my favorites. And then, well, I don't like to talk about it too much, but yeah, I got a bowl full of Mysore raspberry, and there's plenty enough more Mysore black raspberry on the bush right now that if I wanted to pick, I could make a pie. That'd be kind of neat, actually, but anyway, I don't need it. So the Mysore is also almost year-round here. It really doesn't stop. My pruning shears are about the only thing that stops the Mysore. When it starts to get too big and bushy and nasty, I get in there and I cut it back hard. And so for a while, it will revert to vegetative growth until it begins flowering. Roughly after a good hard pruning, it might take 2 months off before it starts making berries again. Otherwise, it makes berries straight through. So we have that pretty much all the time here. It ebbs and flows. Some days there aren't any papayas. Sometimes the bananas aren't ripe, and that. But there are other crops here that we get quite a bit of. Dragon fruit is pretty reliable at producing, especially the yellow variety and the Frankie's red type. They produce a couple of waves of fruit a year. Citrus, of course, the trees are fairly large now, and when they start to yield, they make an awful lot of citrus. So I have more limes and more lemons than I can possibly eat. I managed to eat most of our tangelos. Mandarins, the ones with the tougher skins I get. But my old love affair with Satsuma is over because of the birds here. They ruin almost 100% of that fruit. It's too soft. They get right into it. But we get, I guess, 6 months easily out of citrus around here. Usually it tends to be more in the winter. Different varieties bear at different times. If you have different combinations, you can get citrus almost all year. The Valencia orange will do that. I have one here, and it will produce fruits throughout most of the year. You can find oranges in the tree. So that one's pretty reliable, although Valencia is really not my favorite orange, at least not in Mountain View. I've had them from Kahala, and I've had them from Captain Cook, where I thought they were just killer. Perhaps my tree is too young. We'll see. That matters with citrus, how old the tree is. Some citrus aren't really much good for 10 years. Get much better for the first 20, and by the time you hit 50, if you're still alive, the stuff is literally heavenly. Some fruits. Satsuma is that way. That's an example of a citrus. The Washington Navel is another one. 30 to 60 year old Washington Navel trees produce incredible fruit. So we'll see about my Valencia. Now, pineapples, we have so many of them. They have only about, it's approximately a 2-month solid season for us where they're really coming on, and we have to work at it for 2 months a year. I get all the pineapple any man should ever dare eat during that 2-month period. Not exactly sure what causes this, but we do get pineapples throughout the entire year, a few here and there, now and then. If I could figure out how to get them to stagger like that, I would, but we've never really put our finger on how and why it happens. Some just do that. The biggest problem with a crop like pineapple is that since we know 2 months out of the year we have to be diligent. We're out there every day looking, making sure that we're getting the harvest off. But, in the other 10 months a year, we're not paying attention. And so when I do find one, half the time it's gone too far because I wasn't looking for pineapples. The hybrid lilikoi is another one that produces, maybe 4 months. I think 4 months is a pretty good figure for that it's usually in heavy production every year. It's in big time production right now, but everything is pretty much green. Oh, but is it loaded? Oh, a few people have been by lately and, were wanting to buy the vines, and I took them up and showed them. We have problems getting lilikoi to pollinate around here sometimes. I'm not 100% certain whether it's a lack of specific pollinators or whether some of our local lilikoi strain is only partially self-fertile. Is very possible, and that maybe we need a little more genetics in the pool to get good cross-pollination. I'm not sure of the cause, but I know the classic yellow lilikoi around here at times just doesn't set well. I hear it a lot. I've seen it here. Yeah, flower, but most of the flowers will drop off. So the hybrid lilikoi doesn't do that. I mean, almost every flower that comes on that vine makes a fruit. I was peeking under there, and I ran, because I'm probably going to have to pick them, figure out what to do with them. Whoa, do we have a lot. Man, one vine. I put one of those vines in about 2 years back. We're talking hundreds. We're talking bushels. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, so, I mean, we get those. And, I like a little bit of lilikoi. But lilikoi is usually a type of fruit where you're going to go ahead and you're going to use it in something else. You're going to flavor a smoothie. We're going to make popsicles, you're going to mix it with rum, you're going to do something with lilikoi, usually. Make a lilikoi butter. Flavor things. We flavor things with it a lot. We don't spend a lot of time sitting around just eating lilikoi. So I'm lazy. I will eat them that way, and I enjoy it to a point. But I'd much prefer a banana out of the hand, or a mandarin or something. It's easier for me to take. Lilikoi is pretty, it's exciting, very exciting fruit. So that's a pretty good one though. And lilikoi, when eaten with the seeds. Now, most of us strain the seeds out, get rid of them, use the juice to make products. Well, the juice is okay. It's probably similar nutritional content to, citrus juice. It's probably not too far off. It looks a little short on studies I've checked compared to orange juice. But then you find other ones where, wow, it's a superfood. This is one of the strongest, most vital fruits on earth. And you realize that's because some studies, they studied the seeds and the juice, others just the juice. And so if you grind the seeds in your teeth so they are edible and digest in your system, you get omega-3 fatty acids, and just a whole lot of stuff is in the seed. So it is a superfood. if you like to eat the seeds. I know for years I kind of enjoyed eating watermelon, but man, as a kid, there's no way I could consider swallowing or chewing the seeds. It just wasn't going to happen. As time goes on, I guess, again, maybe I'm just lazy, but I don't spit the seeds anymore. I chew them up. I believe they're probably quite good for you. A lot of the seeds I've been spitting out most of my life, I should have been chewing. Now, there are some I've been spitting out, like apple seeds, pear seeds, that I should have been spitting out, okay? Those of you who aren't aware of the fact that on record, I believe it's 125 apple pip is what it took to kill a man. Yeah. He liked them so much, he saved them up in a jar, and then when he ate them all in a binge, he didn't survive. Arsenic. There's arsenic in the seeds. It's a lot of the fruit seed in the rose family. Peaches, plums, pears, nectarines, apricots, quince, apple, pear. These all have toxins in the seeds that you don't want to consume. Well, I kind of wander, though. We were talking about what's the most reliable fruit in the garden around here. And so, if people want to build orchards and food forests here for themselves on the island, of course, the price of land is now 26% increase since New Year's in Puna, alone in Puna. That's special. I don't know if I've ever seen in a 6-month period a 26% increase in value in land here. So you're not going to want to waste the land you purchased. You want to put it to good use and have it pay for itself. Put it to work. And definitely, I highly recommend apple banana. If you're closer down to the shore, the Numwa is a good choice. It doesn't seem to like it as much higher up. Here, apple is queen in the banana world in Mountain View. I've grown solo papayas and Maradol papayas and Kakdam from Thailand and a whole bunch of different papayas. Exotica was one I'd picked up that I really liked the fruit. The fruit was really good. But some of these papayas, the trunks seem to take on infections here and die easily. And Kakdam and Exotica were two of those. They're not as hardy in the weather here as Solo. And Solo is darn good, and so I'm happy with it, and I grow lots of Solo papayas. I recommend everybody does. We do have a low form, the Waimanalo Solo. It's a dwarf type. It's easier to pick, closer to the ground. I don't like the fruit as much. They say it's a Solo, and it is, but it don't seem to appeal to me as much as the classic tall Solo. I have a fruit picker for mine, but I also go after them with a broom. I just take the brush end of the broom on a long handle, put it up there, go woof, and push against the papaya and catch it on the downstroke. Or I've usually got so much mulch underneath my plants, they'll oftentimes bounce on the weeds or the trash. So Gracie came over to do a little photo bombing, but she didn't want to let me pick her up, so I can't put her up in the camera. I think she believes there's a lizard up that coffee tree somewhere. That's what it looks like. Right, Gracie? Huh? Is there a lizard in there? Say hello to your friends. Gracie, have you ever wondered why most of the people that come over here know your name? I don't think you asked that question, do you? You just go, yep, they know me. I'm Gracie. Everybody knows Gracie, right? You bet. I got my breakfast all rounded up in there. Y'all hang loose. Aloha.